Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Basore, and today is episode 43. And I'm excited to learn about cannabis and the history of cannabis up in the Upper Peninsula with kind of the godmother of cannabis up there, Penny Milkey from Northern Specialty Health. Thanks for coming on, Penny.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And then Tom Beller up at Kalkaska. Normally I'm making up north jokes on you, so I can't today. What's going on?
We're the trolls today. Yeah. Oh, things are great, man. It's a beautiful day on the farm. Glad to be here.
Cool. Kevin here with me in Lansing at Truu Cannabis. Kevin, thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Ryan. Excited to talk to Penny about some of the things going on in the UP. Like you said in the pre-show, I'm kind of ignorant to what's been going on up there, and I'm excited to kind of hear a little bit more. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep. And so a little bit more about Penny. She's the founder of Northern Specialty Health. It's been open since 2015 or 16, I believe. I believe it's 16. She can correct me on that a little bit. And then she's born and raised up there, I believe, and went up to Northern Michigan University. Was a teacher, and I can't wait to hear about you jumping over from. I did it as an insurance agent. It was something. It was a trip. So, um, you know, really, from word on the street is that you really like flower and live resin carts as well. And then, and also I really started hearing about Penny, during the legalization and the work that was going on up there and helping us, and then opened Northern Specialty Health, and it's obviously one of Redemption's favorite stores, and I love the fact that my products are all the way up there, and you guys are so easy to work with and fun. So I can't wait to get up there this summer, and maybe Kevin and Tom can come with me. But with that, Penny, about yourself growing up, the jump from teacher to marijuana activist and business owner, and then we can get into some of what's happening up there.
Okay, sure. I was born in Marquette. I went to school there, and then I went to Northern. Graduated from Northern in '99. So I was graduated from high school in '95. I'll be turning 44 this month. Um, I went to school I was a double major, Spanish and biology, and then I met Ryan, my husband, and I ended up dropping my biology to a minor so I could graduate and move away with him. So we moved to Madison, and we were there a little while in Wisconsin. That was nice, around 2000. We came back to Michigan in 2007. My husband and I are both alcoholics, and we were drinkers, and he crashed his four-wheeler into a tree and broke his back and broke his neck. And needless to say, a year and a half later of learning how to walk and painkillers, we realized that cannabis was what he needed to make it. We had used cannabis, recreationally before that, but we didn't realize the true medicinal effects that it had on him, and it really just saved his life. So that goes to 2007. We moved to the Keweenaw in 2008. He could no longer work as an electrician. So I got a job in Calumet teaching public schools, CLK. I was teaching Spanish in the middle school. And then I became a reading specialist, and I taught kids how to read. I worked in the Title I program, and I ended in first grade. And then, Northern Specialty Health. It was actually started in like 2011 by someone else. They got in trouble. They went away. We bought it in 2013, December of 2013. We had the conversation. That's when we took it over. It was closed for about 2 weeks, and then my husband opened it back up. I continued to teach until 2016 when it became too much for him to do on his own, and I resigned from the public school. And they threw me a great party. It was very, like, nobody judged me when I told them what was happening because it was going to be on the news. I wanted them to know from me firsthand before they heard it from somebody else that my husband was running the pot shop in town or whatever they called it at the time. But it was great. The parents, surprisingly, I had no bad feedback. A couple of the teachers asked me personal questions about cannabis use and things like that. And then I kind of just became comfortable being like the face to talk openly about it, I guess. So there's a little bit. What else do you want me to dive into?
Oh, love to hear about like what was going on in the mood and with legalization and then licensing from the aspect from being up there, because
Yeah.
not really too many people work the whole state, like you did. Everybody knows you down here,
Yes.
but like there's not really too many other activists. I'm expecting there's a lot of other activists up there. I've met some, but
Mm-hmm.
they stay up there. So just kind of like what it's like up
Yeah.
there and how that process went in 17 and 18.
Okay, so yeah, when the MMFLA came out in 17, we were already operating in Houghton under a local ordinance that allowed us to run under the caregiver style, right? So we had to transition into the licensed market. I went to so many city council meetings, planning meetings. I met the mayor, the council members, planning commission members, just trying to put a positive face on it, I guess, and trying to get them to opt into the MMFLA so we could continue serving medical patients licensed. Otherwise, we were going to have to close down. So I fought very hard for it. I did numerous work groups in Lansing. I made the trip, I don't know, 3, 4 times, participated as a provisioning center owner, as a patient, as a caregiver, so many different ways. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there, Ryan. I was thinking about all those trips downstate, but it really enabled me to meet a lot of different people. Every time I went to a work group for the MRA, I met others that were in the industry, and it's only helped us, get this far, I guess.
Hey,
Oh,
Penny, I
that's
was
great.
wondering what the general attitude was, towards cannabis in the Upper Peninsula prior to the MMFLA during the early
Um,
caregiver times.
I think for caregivers it was all right. There wasn't like a lot of huge caregiver raids or anything like that going on, but I don't think people were growing in, over hundreds of plants. I think most people were sticking to their limits, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of busts. Most of the times things were going towards more like a meth. At least it seemed that way. There was more emphasis on busting meth and stuff instead of caregiver grows.
Good.
Overall, people really hesitated, I guess, when it comes to adult use. Even with medical, we had to fight long and hard to get medical here under the licensed way. Many, many hours in meetings, and questions of people asking and just standing up for the patients and saying that they needed to, pass that so we could stay open. Otherwise, the people weren't going to have anywhere to go. But I don't know how it is. We're definitely not, the UP is not like it is downstate where everybody downstate is opting in. The UP is still very sporadic and hardly anybody wants to opt in, even with adult use now, but hopefully it's changing slowly. There's more and more up here now. I mean, in the beginning, Northern Specialty Health was the only place for a very, very long time. Then there was a couple others that popped up, but then they ended up stopping or closing because nobody else transitioned or pivoted, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Hey Penny, it's Kevin over at True Cannabis. I know that you had actually gone up in front of the licensing board, like myself, and not a lot of people know about that process. For those who don't know, basically Schneider appointed Rick Johnson, Schneider along with Tom Leonard and Arlen Meekoff, appointed Rick Johnson and Don Bailey to the board, along with 3 other people. And Don Bailey obviously had a chip on his shoulder towards caregivers and people that are advocating for cannabis at the time. Talk to me a little bit about going through that process, the nerves that you went through. I know it was terrifying for me. We barely got through by the skin of our teeth, but talk to me about your experience.
It was awful. It was terrifying. It was horrible. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. So we knew that Don was going to vote no, right? Because he voted no for everybody. So we were just hoping for 3 out of 5, begging for 3 out of 5 votes. Luckily, we got 4 out of 5, but we had to go in front of him twice. We went in front of him the first time. We got 4 out of 5. Don, brought up stuff. He brought up, but at least by the time they got to us, they weren't names of applicants anymore. They were just using initials. So when he got to our case, he talked about the previous owner, he talked about my husband, he talked about this and that and this and that, trying to link us to something that we had nothing to do. I had the chance to work with Don Bailey on a work group. It was the first work group I went to. It was about transitioning from unlicensed to licensed. And it was when they put us in 5 groups, and Don was in charge of our group from the board. They had 5 boards or 5 members. And so I had to face to face with him, and I told him straight up. But it was definitely interesting. Yeah, it was terrifying, Kevin. It was awful. I don't wish it upon anybody. It was intrusive. It was violating. I mean, I can't say anything good about it. I'm thankful we made it through, but I wouldn't want anyone else to go through that.
It was absolutely horrible for
It's
people
horrible.
listening. And the only thing I've requested to the state is now because we don't have the board anymore. Thank you, Governor Whitmer. That at least give us gold stars or something on our license.
Right? Like we
Something.
went through that.
Right.
Yeah,
It was.
'cause
I mean, it was probably the worst period of my life.
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah.
sitting there watching it on Facebook Live, you know, and then they're just, you have no idea what they're going to say about you, what's going to happen. And then we had to do it like 2 weeks later because we did not install the security or the surveillance upgrades until we knew we were going to get past part one. Because if they weren't going to think that we had good moral character enough to make it through, then I wasn't going to put the money in to get these upgrades. So when we made it through the first one, then we had to go back through again. He voted no both times. I knew he was going to because that's just the way he did it. But I'm thankful to make it through. But it was awful, awful.
Yeah, I got to echo what you guys said. It was terrible for myself as well. Don Bailey made a motion to approve us and then voted no, and so we got through barely. Rick Johnson also voted no, but it was a terrifying moment. I remember it vividly. The nerves, knowing, just counting down the minutes as you're watching, knowing that you're coming up in a few minutes, and then the actual vote. And I remember like my employees and everybody celebrating around me, and I kind of was in shock. They were like, "What's wrong?" And it's like, I still don't believe it. And then the second thought that was going through my head was, this is going to be miserable, you know. And so it was definitely a scary time, and I could totally relate to what you went through.
Yeah, we were cheering, crying, swearing, everything at once because it was so emotional. It was terrible. But you know, made it.
Yeah, congratulations on getting through that
Thanks.
process. Yeah.
You too. We all deserve a big pat on the back and a hug.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'll take that gold star next to my name too, Tom. No doubt.
Right.
Yeah, I remember those days, and I didn't qualify for any licenses back then, but we used to get together in Lansing at this house around the corner from my office, and it would be like a barbecue, and we'd have a few drinks and smoke, and just just insane watching it. You know, I can't believe that's what we were dealing with. You guys were dealing with. Question, Penny, kind of on the market up there. I know it's like the rest of the state, and it's picking up, and people are having record weeks and days, and then obviously there's new border towns popping that are right along Wisconsin and Minnesota, and a lot of those guys are doing, and Gale's doing pretty big numbers. And Marquette's popping off. So, like, what are you still seeing a lot of people from other states, vacationers?
Yeah.
Locals obviously make it up, but then what's it kind of like up there? And like you know cannabis, you're a pro, you're doing it, you're running your shop, and then there's a lot of some of the other stores are people are brand new, and there's that dynamic up that's just here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Our sales have not like decreased at all. I haven't looked at April so much, but March was bigger than February. February was bigger than January. I mean, every year, every month has just grown. Like I said, I didn't check for our April's, but then there's 420 in there too, and there's the stimulus. It's just so different. And this is, we're only like 6 or 7 months into adult use. So we don't know like what it's going to end up like. And we do have 2 people moving in this summer. One is opening this month and one is opening next month within a half a mile of us. But all 3 of us are completely different. So I'm hoping that will allow us to just continue to stand out. And then just the fact that we've been here for so long and that we're trusted, reliable, and we're just knowledgeable, and we're not new to this game. We've been doing it for so long. I just hope that the people remember how much we fought in the beginning to get medical here and then to get adult use here. And I hope that keeps us going. But there's tons of new stores. I was checking Weed Maps there, and now the UP used to be just one. Now Weed Maps has Eastern and Western, and actually. And stores haven't even opened yet, like in Ironwood, like along the one border, Iron Mountain's got one. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But we get a ton of new people, a lot of tourists, a lot of regulars.
Penny, you were talking earlier about, spending a lot of time with the community trying to get legislation passed up there and whatnot. How's things these days? Have you been at a turning point now that some revenues coming in from cannabis sales and whatnot? Is the community starting to back you up there? Do you feel the support?
Yeah. The Houghton did get some of the money from last year's, or whenever they did that release, was that in March of this year? Whenever the
Yeah.
people got paid, Houghton got paid. So I didn't get a thank you. I wouldn't have minded a little thank you card, Penny, saying thank you for pushing us this far, because now we have this lump of big sum of money to spend. But I think, more people still need to opt in. Like Houghton is the only city up here that has opted in. Hancock hasn't, nothing north of us has. Um, yeah, so we still have a lot of work to do. Like Ontonagon hasn't. I don't know if Ironwood has. It seems like there's only little chunks of it, like the Marquette area, the Iron Mountain, us. But more and more people will be popping up.
So are you guys running into any kind of issue with getting supply up there? Is that a difficulty for you
No,
as far as products?
as far as what?
As far as products and whatnot, are you able to
No.
get things up there? No problem.
Yeah, no. Shelby's great. You guys know Shelby. We've got her doing the ordering right now, and she's working really hard to get everything that we need and want. And transport costs have come down a ton since we started. That first transport, like first couple of months, it was like 4,000 or 5,000 a trip. It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. And now it's like way, way less, way less. Yeah.
Well, that's
So no, we have redemption and relief. What else would we want?
right. That's true. That's true. True
Yes,
cannabis.
and
There you
true.
go.
Well, of course, and true cannabis. Yes.
Right. Right.
Part of it, yeah. Hey, Penny, what have you thought about? Like, what are your goals? Like, like for some people, it's just like it's about like running one store that it's your heart and it's the best that you can do. Then and there's other people that want to possibly do three or four or different things. Like, do you know? Have you kind of thought about that, or are you content, or what's the plans?
One and done. One.
Nice.
Happy with one. I never dreamed that I would be a business owner. My husband didn't either. He's an electrician. I'm a former teacher. We have three beautiful children. They're growing up really fast. One and done. I don't want to. I don't want to be huge. I just want to have one store where people can come and get quality products and knowledge with good customer service, and know the background, I guess, and everything that we went through. Because a lot of a lot of people aren't doing it for the same reasons that we're doing it. So yeah,
That's
no
that's how
one.
you that's how you beat the competition because what we're seeing down here in a lot of these markets, Lansing, Battle Creek, Bay City, it's I've been doing it for
Hmm.
are succeeding, and then a lot of the maybe the bigger stores or what we call corporate ones are running it
Yeah,
like a regular retail, but you got to hustle. I mean, it's a hustle and
yeah,
it's regular. So
yeah.
like it's a big advantage all your experience and just knowing
Yeah.
about cannabis. So hats off.
I
And
hope
Knowing,
it.
yeah, knowing your market is crucial, and people
Yeah.
really gravitate towards the shops that understand, have been around and have stood the
Hmm.
test of time. A lot of people
Yeah.
appreciate that, and you don't get that with with a corporate type entity like
No.
some out there that
Hmm.
may come into a market and just put in a store and say, all right, we're opening up and come on in and wonder where
Yeah.
the people are. But I mean,
Right.
are you seeing
Yeah.
that? Go ahead, Ryan.
oh no, I was just curious. I know Marquette's allowing them. Penny has Houghton talked about allowing lounges. Was that part of your ordinance?
No, they will not. They're only allowing provisioning centers. Houghton's really small. It's landlocked. There's not a lot of actual city of Houghton. So they decided that when they were going to draft it, they were just going to allow the stores, and that if somebody wanted to do a grow or a process or transport, that it would be better for them actually to do it outside the city limits anyways than it would be to do it inside the city. But nobody else has opted in the surrounding areas to allow for that to happen. But then again, um, our electricity is really high up here, so there's a lot of different reasons that maybe people are not coming up here to grow compared to going downstate to grow. So, I mean, it still is all Michigan, but there's got to be reasons why people always tend to go more down and leave the UP more, desolate. So it's okay.
So Penny, I was talking to Josh before the show about the Indian tribes. How is
Yeah.
that affecting business up there? Or what do you guys anticipate is going to happen with the market when they get rolling?
I don't know, I know the Sioux has one going right now, right? I don't know the name of it, but then KBIC is the Keweenaw Indian Community. They are going to become MRMTA licensed. So they're actually going to go through the state licensing. They're not going to operate like the one in the Sioux is operating on their own tribal land or whatever, you know what I mean? So they're going to have two dispensaries open, one in Marquette and one in Crystal Falls, but I don't know if either one of them open or not. I don't think it's going to affect us anything differently because they're going to carry the same products that we're going to carry if they're licensed. They won't be like the one on the east.
Yeah, I don't understand how the state anticipates working with an unlicensed and a licensed cultivator and retailer. I'm confused by the whole situation, but it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. You know.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it either. I have met the person who's running the ones from the KBIC a few times, but I don't know the details except that they were going to go through the state licensing process. But like the other one, I don't know how they're doing it, and I don't know how some companies are putting tribal land either that are in cities that have not opted in. So I don't know. I have a lot of questions too, but when you only have the one and done, it's easy. You don't have to worry about that many other things because I know what I need to know and I can just focus on this.
That's great.
Yeah, that's all
Hey,
you really
hey,
could
Penny.
do.
Hey, Penny. Tell us a little bit about like your philosophy behind your store. You've been doing it for a while, and obviously you're uber patient focused to begin. So
Yeah.
we all have that background here, and it's one thing
Mm-hmm.
I love about the MICIA that we're all a part of too. It's like
Yeah.
that as well. So, what's the store's philosophy? And I got a feeling you probably don't have a lot of turnover with your employees. It's just a guess I'm having right now. So,
Yeah.
get a little into that, please.
Yeah, well, we're trying to hire like everybody else is right now when it comes to employees. I think we have 18. We're trying to hit 20. Most of the time we've been around 10 or 12 employees. We don't have a lot of employee turnover. To have some because sometimes it just doesn't work for whatever reasons. Like you can't roll a spliff on the counter and have a job there. It's just not allowed. For instance, things like that happen. Um, so the philosophy is, I mean, we're here for the people. We're here for you. We always were here for you. We fought for you. It all comes back to 2013 when the store closed. And my husband was a caregiver and he was providing for the store. And he could not think about the people not having access, the older people, the people that came to the store for their medicine. He didn't want to think about them having to go without it. So basically, that's why we do it. We're customer service orientated. We carry quality products and we're knowledgeable and we've been doing this for a really long time and we're cannabis passionate. We're consumers. Like the people who work there consume, the owners are consumers. We believe in it. We're not just, because then you hear also about these companies where nobody even smokes pot at them.
Oh yeah.
Right, what are you doing? Well, then you know what they're doing and you know why they're doing it. But then you have the people that are like us that really believe in this plant and I just love it. I love how happy it makes
That's
people. It does.
So Penny, are we
now.
going to see you down at the summer annual, the MICIA summer annual down in Bel Air? Not going to see you this year.
No, no, I don't get that far away. No, the only reason why I went down before was to pay our licensing fees. I haven't,
Yeah,
that was honestly the only reason because I had to drive the cash down. Now I don't have to do that anymore, but yeah.
yeah.
I
It
we,
is
we're
quite the drive.
Yeah, we are sponsoring Jamie Cooper's golf outing. We're sponsoring the hole there. So
Oh,
you'll see
cool,
the
cool.
logo, but you will
Yeah,
not
yeah.
see me in person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, Penny, I'm fascinated. As I talk a lot about it because it's one of our new products. Is our single source live resin carts, and I was
Hmm.
talking to a friend in Oregon, and their store just had for the first time resin carts sold at it than distillate, and it's going that way because it's the truth. It's the plant. Like, what would you
Yep.
rather smoke when you educate
Hmm.
it? So what's that been like up there, talking to the locals and just the different patients and consumers, and what's that conversation like, and what are your thoughts on that in the future?
Well, for me, I always tell them that once you smoke live resin cart, you can't go back to distillate. It's just not, it's not as good. It's not the same. You know, I really love the live resin carts. I love the terps. I love the naturalness of it. I do still smoke distillate carts once in a while, but it's just like, I don't know how to put it into words. It's just a better quality cart. It's a better, it's, to me, it's better. The stuff that's inside of it is better than if it's distillate. I'm not bashing distillate. There's a place for it, you know, and everything. But if I option of two cards, I'm picking the live resin, 100%.
I was wondering, have there been any trends up there as far as people moving from, say, flour into concentrates, and how long did that take? It seems to be something that was less popular in the more, rural areas. And speaking
Yeah.
of, yeah, I was just curious about that.
If I would have, I should have looked at numbers ahead of time. Flour is always the top seller, and actually edibles is probably second. Concentrates and carts. Um, a lot of people like the carts because of the ease of use of it, but it seems like a lot of people now are almost going. There's still a lot of dabbers though. You know, there's a lot of people that like the concentrate and that want that dab. And when you have a good high quality dab, then they're even more apt to buy that instead of like a, not so good dab.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Penny. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you got involved. I did not know the story about your husband and that. In my experience, like especially to get involved early on, did it takes something maybe like a personal experience like that where
Yeah.
you see it work and it changes someone's life, and then that changes you because the
Mm-hmm.
government was lying and people are going to
Right.
jail and all that. But so
Mm-hmm.
like we're big into like redemption. We're about to have a 4 strain specific RSO. We've been big into that. That's something I'm passionate about. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
elderly people in my life are on it, including myself. And so is the people these guys, everyone that's helping us with this passionate. So what's it like up there on
Mm-hmm.
RSO? Get going on that up there early on with people, and what's like I just kind of have an idea that you guys were into it and the patients know about it
Yeah.
up there.
We had RSO. We had someone who made RSO. It's so funny because we had someone who made RSO, someone who made moon rocks. This is like long, long time ago, you know. But my husband also takes RSO every night. So we do have quite a few people that take it. Not as many people know the medicinal, benefits of it as I think a lot of people consider RSO more just for like cancer patients instead of just like a nightly routine, like part of your, supplement. You're going to supplement yourself with RSO at night, so you're going to feel better in the morning. And if you just do that every day, you're not going to be super stoned, but you're still going to get all the benefits of the RSO. So people do know about it, but I think people tend to think it's for the very, very ill when it is not.
Yeah, I think
No,
that scares
that's
people too.
Yeah,
I, you have to ease into that conversation. Oh, am I
mm-hmm.
going to get high? And it's like, well, yeah,
Yeah,
you know. That's
yep.
one of the delightful side effects of medication with this. So,
Mm-hmm.
but some people want to take medicine and not feel those effects. But then
Yeah,
you have to have the conversation. Well, which would you rather have? Feel the effects of treatment.
right.
In a
Mm-hmm.
hospital or a clinic, or in bed at home. And
Yep.
yeah, it's that
I know it
education.
helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
and,
Yeah,
and for me,
100%.
for me, it's a lot of the people that are struggle sleeping, they're in pain,
Yep.
and just a good night's sleep, 7 8 hours all the way through. I mean, that
Yeah.
changes. It's changed some people in my lives, and that's a big deal. So I know I'm be very aware of that I just turned 44 myself, Penny. So I
Ah.
still think I'm 32, but it ain't happening. But
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up today. We got a couple hard outs, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate Penny
Mm-hmm.
coming on, and I'll just get a final thought in, like we always do. Tom at Real Leaf, go ahead.
Yeah, just looking forward to coming up to visit Penny. I'm hoping
Yeah.
to come up this summer and meet you in person. And if you're ever
Mm-hmm.
down in the Kalkaska area or Traverse City, please look us up. We'd love to have you come by and take a look at the farm.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Yeah, no, the same thing for me. I hope to make it up to the UP sometime this summer. I haven't been up there in quite a long time, and it's such a beautiful area, and it's one of those places that you don't think about all the time because it's a little bit of a drive. But I'm looking forward to getting up there. I want to thank you for all your efforts, in advocacy over the years, and making a difference for the UP. There's a lot of forgotten people up there that do need help, and so I want to thank you for that. And yeah, wish you all the best.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yep. Penny, any final thoughts for the listeners? We have a lot of licensees that listen, so.
No, I was just gonna throw in one more thing. Back to the whole like why we do what we do. One more reason why we do what we do, maybe because when my husband was younger, he got in trouble with pot, here and there, whatever, whatever. But before I even met him, he was in the Navy. He got through basic training. He got caught with a bag, and they booted him. So because of that, I'm thankful because I met him. But at the same time, it just shows how messed up it is. Like way back when. This is like in the mid 90s or whatever when this happened. But the story goes far. It goes way back why we do what we do, I guess. And that's all I wanted to say.
I really appreciate you coming on, Penny, because
Yeah.
I've been actually wondering a little bit more about your life for a while once you got active, and obviously, like, if you got into it when you did, there was a reason. There's no doubt about it, because you put your life on the line up there, and I feel
Yeah.
blessed that we're all here to live to tell about it, and with a few battle scars, but we're moving forward, and
Yes.
So with that, thanks everybody, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you.